If that was a real courtroom, you would have had objection, badgering the witness. Wait, is this love is bi or love is blind? I understand wanting to show your ex your past, but sweetheart, show her a baby picture.
Every second, every minute, man, I swear that she can get.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Izzy and Lydia, and I make videos on makeup, motherhood, and lifestyle. So if that's something you're interested in, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, you guys, we are here for another episode of Cut Crease Commentary, where I'm going to comment on one of my favorite Netflix shows. We do different Netflix shows around here, but so far we have just done Love is Blind. And we are going to talk about the spicy, hot, sizzling Love is Blind season 5. Okay, we missed episodes 1 to 4 because I was sick, but we are going to talk a little bit about it and jump right into 5 to 8. So if you'd like to hear my views and opinions about this hot mess season, then stick around. Okay, you guys, so we are filming today in my new studio. I don't think I ever showed you guys on YouTube the big reveal, but I think I posted it on my Instagram and my TikTok. So if you haven't followed those, go ahead and follow me at sincerely_nads on Instagram and sincerely_nads on TikTok. This is a look we are going to create. It's I don't even know what to call it, like a summer, end of summer, fall. It's now fall type of look, but it has some orange and some purples in there, a hint of yellow, and a little bit of gold in the inner corner. So that's what we'll be creating. I won't be talking about the products that I am using just to save time. I am going to try my best to link them in the description if you are interested, but feel free to chime in at any moment, okay? Like if you feel like you need to comment at the beginning of the video, middle of the video, and at the end, girl, we just discussing. We don't really care. Like, comment as many times as you need to. Okay, so before I go deep into episodes 5 to 8, I have some notes on my phone from the previous episodes. So from episodes 1 to 4, these were my initial thoughts, and I'm going based on connections made amongst people. So I'll kind of go person by person or couple by couple. So I'm going to start with the black couple first. I don't know, because I just feel like it's necessary. So I'm going to start with Mr. UCHE himself, because they, so far, in my opinion, like, there's been a lot of nonsense happening on this show, but UCHE and AALIYAH definitely like ate the first 4 seasons up. Like, at that point it was their show, I'm not lying, because everybody was watching just for that storyline. Like, we really wanted to know what was happening with them. So UCHE is a lawyer, and you can tell that he's a lawyer by the first deep conversation that he and AALIYAH have. And AALIYAH, if you don't know, is the girl that he's interested in. She's a black girl, beautiful girl, but I mean, he doesn't know that because he cannot see her. So AALIYAH and UCHE have this connection, and AALIYAH ends up telling UCHE, you know, 2 years ago I ended up cheating on my ex. We were in a relationship, I cheated with somebody else, and you know, basically that's what happened. She wasn't really taking accountability for it, and when I tell you UCHE went directly into lawyer mode, he put AALIYAH on that stand. Okay, at that point she was guilty until she can prove she was innocent, and he was asking the questions, like all the hard questions. Now I don't have a problem with him asking the questions, because initially I was like, oh, you know, UCHE is intelligent, tall, handsome black man. You know, I feel like, well, some people think maybe he's not handsome, but to me, he's not a bad looking guy, right? You're super well built. I was like, he probably have a lot going for himself, but why is he on this show? And every time I ask myself those questions, I'm like, that one, let's see what red flags and what issues he have. So Uche went into lawyer mode, put Aaliyah on the stand, and started drilling her. If that was a real courtroom, you would have had objection, badgering the witness, because the way he was just going at her, like, she didn't have a time to even really like bounce back from each question. Was it back to back, back to back, back to back? And I understand why he was grilling her like that, because if you're about to marry somebody, you need to know everything about them. And the way that she was saying that she cheated, but this and but that, and she had a bunch of explanations, he wasn't really going for it. But then I was like, yo, do you know her ex? Because it seemed like, and the way you're going about it, you and that ex probably in cahoots, and he sent you to ask those questions, because ain't no way you don't know this man personally the way you're going so hard for him. Because I was like, what? So that was a turn off for me. I was like, oh, Aaliyah, if he's talking to you like this now, it's not even about what he's saying. It's his overall delivery and the fact that he felt like he had the right to talk to her like that. Like, that is the issue I had with Uche. Like, at no point he was like, you know what, I'm going. Well, he did at the end say he feel like he was too hard on her, and was like, oh, I respect you for, you know, coming forward and saying this. She was already out by the time he was giving that speech. Like, she don't care nothing about what you have to say. You're already done. Drill the girl. You run her to the ground. She's tired. She's tired of the conversation. She can't take it. But Aaliyah, truth be told, girl, you should have just been accountable. And you should have set the record straight from there. You should have just communicated to him. This was my past. This is not my future. Either you like it or you don't. Either we're going to move on or we're not going to move on. And, like, let him know that he cannot grill you like that, you know, in like conversations where you're supposed to be feeling vulnerable enough to talk and express your feelings to him. So that's what I felt about Uche. At the end of those first 4 episodes, you find out that Uche, after he did all that grilling Aaliyah, turns out his ex is in the pods. And he didn't tell Aaliyah. But did Aaliyah grill him the same way? No, she did not. As a matter of fact, she had a very emotional response. She cried a lot. She had to leave the room to contain herself and then come back in. So Aaliyah finds out that one of the girls that she's closest to in the pods is actually the man that she's currently in love with, ex. So Lydia is Uche's ex. And when I tell you Lydia and Aaliyah were like this in the pods, it was giving weird to me. I don't know if I was the only one. I'm like, you guys are not friends. All of this friend talk. I understand that in the pods, you can be very vulnerable with the ladies that you share your information with, and also with the man that you fall in love with. But the way that she was talking about, oh, she's going to be the auntie to my kids. Which kids? Which auntie? Whose auntie is she gonna be? Because I don't see it. It was just mad talk to me. It was crazy. I just feel like not calling Aaliyah crazy, but just calling this situation where she thinks that she's so close to this girl that she just met, that she should, you know, call that girl the potential auntie to her future children. I thought that was so extreme. So from there, at first I was team Aaliyah. Like, she was my girl. She was definitely my favorite on the show. But up until that point, I started to give her this side eye, because there were several things that I picked up, and when she said that, it made it make sense to me. I feel like Aaliyah is one of those people that has a lot of healing to do. You can tell that she has a void that she's trying to fill. She keeps talking about how much she has been hurt in the past. She talked about how Lydia holds her so tight, and it makes me feel like she does have some childhood trauma. Probably she is like longing to be part of a system sisterhood or to be part of a family and to feel love and to be embraced in that aspect, in a like platonic way. But then again, in the quarters, you see them like being super touchy, super feely, and I was like, wait, is this love is bi or love is blind? Because I really couldn't understand it. And I mean, my girl, if it's love is bi, then that's fine. But this is just not that show, okay? Like, I think they have a different, like, version of, like, if you're trying to look for a girlfriend too, you know what I mean? But I couldn't understand how they were so touchy-feely, close, 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 close. You're my best friend, you're my best friend. So that's what I felt about AALIYAH. And she needed to set boundaries with UCHE, especially when he was talking to her crazy. And she also needed to set boundaries with Lydia, and she did not do it. Lydia was kind of telling her, like, basically, forget about UCHE. He doesn't see your worth, then you should just completely forget and disregard him. And I was like, girl, where you know UCHE from? When Lydia was all up in AALIYAH's face, I said out loud, verbatim, I said, where you know UCHE from, Lydia? Lydia, where you know UCHE from? Because it sounds like you know UCHE very well. And then that's when it said in my mind, I said, there's no way they having this show in cities and they don't ever come up with exes. Wouldn't it be weird if exes pop up on the show? And as soon, not long after I thought, wouldn't it be weird if there were exes on the show? Boom, exes. And guess who were the exes? Lydia, AALIYAH, and UCHE. Like, there would be, if it was somebody else, if there was like any other person that had an ex on the show, it would not have been as juicy as it is with Lydia, UCHE, and AALIYAH. It was the perfect recipe for disaster. It was crazy. Like you couldn't make that shit up. And that's why when people say it was production, I'm like, no, production was probably eating that shit up as soon as they found out. They were probably high-fiving and jumping up and down and screaming when they found out. They are already nominated for an Emmy for Love is Blind. So like, to them, this was just hitting the goalpost, the jackpot. When I think about Lydia, in the beginning, like initial thoughts, I was like, oh, this girl is too much. She's a lot, okay? I was kind of annoyed when people were saying that they couldn't understand her, because I was like, just listen and you'll understand. I was like, is there an audio problem happening in the post, or people just not listening to her? And I guess because I have an accent, maybe I was a little bit touchy when it came to that aspect. I just felt it was so annoying. But you know, as she goes in the pause, you realize this girl is really desperate for love. Like, that's the energy she was giving me. You could see when UCHE rejected her, she was like, so basically, tell me what's wrong with me. You know, like, tell me what's wrong. Like, tell me why you didn't choose me. And he already done told you, okay? He told you his connection is stronger with the other women. Like, what don't you understand? I'm using this Juvia's Place palette right here. This is Afric by Juvia's, and that's the only palette I'll be using. I'm going to use this orange, this yellow, this purple, and then this Fifi color right here. So I'm using Dakar, Aya, Bintu, and Fifi, and Coffee to create this look. So yeah, that's the only time I'm going to mention product, because I'm just going to go on as I'm doing the makeup. So we see Lydia. We see Lydia get rejected by Izzy. Then you see her backpedal and go to Milton. And initially I was like, oh, she and Milton, they have a lot in common. Well, you know, Milton is obsessed with rocks. She's a geologist. They are both intelligent. He is an engineer. You know, she should probably keep talking to him. But she was so focused on Izzy. But as soon as she gets dumped by Izzy, she goes back to Milton. And I was like, I mean, she's not the first or the last who has done that on Love is Blind. So I was like, okay, whatever, moving along. You can see how she is just so, she was just all up in Aaliyah's face. It was suffocating, and for me it was hard to watch. I was like, this is more than just a supportive friend, because you could even see when the first time she was telling Aaliyah, I am you and you are me, the Asian girl, I think she's Asian, she was looking at her like, okay, this is where you lost me. And that's where she lost me too. Like, it was so weird. Like, who are you? Like, what is your last name? What is your middle name? How am I you? Like, you hardly know me. It was giving weird. I never believed in their friendship. I just always gave it the side eye, and I was waiting to see how it would have progressed. And guess what? It was a flop. Milton, in the beginning, oh my god, I was like, this boy looks like a baby. He looks like a baby with a mustache. He looks very young to me. I was like, why is this guy on this show? He should be somewhere hanging out with his boys, getting to know the world, you know, like focusing on his career. Like, I understand he's an engineer, so he probably getting money already, but I was like, Milton, you should not be on here at 24 years old, okay? But anyway, Milton has a weird sense of humor. He is in love with rocks. He is super tall, smart, you could tell. But what I liked about Milton is he was kind of giving it to what's his name, like a straight shooter. Now think about this. UCHE asked Milton who he was interested in, and Milton was like, yo, stop asking me. Basically. And I really liked him for that, because it's like he didn't succumb to the peer pressure of everybody telling their business, so he had to tell his business. He was just like, basically, don't ask me no questions. Okay? We all dating like around, we dating the same people. Don't ask me no question. I didn't ask you no question, don't ask me any question. So I really like that about Milton. I was like, oh, okay, Milton, they thought you were the little soft boy. You're not the little soft boy at all. Okay, at all. So I like that about him. And that also shows you how UCHE is so calculated. So UCHE was asking Milton because he had an inkling that Milton was talking to Lydia or liked Lydia, and was trying to encourage him to not propose to Lydia. And was it because he knows that Lydia have Pat crazy, or is it because, like, was he trying to warn him, like, you're young, you don't need those kind of problems in your life, you don't have to marry Lydia because Lydia have a little bit psycho crazy tendencies, or is it because he kind of low-key still have feelings for Lydia? I didn't know what was going on, so I was just like, you know, I didn't figure that part out until after. But, you know, I was just thinking in hindsight, when I think about it, was that a warning, or was that him, you know, still keeping his options open by telling Milton not to propose to Lydia? So in case AALIYAH doesn't work out, maybe he can still connect with Lydia. I don't know. But anyway, so moving on to Mr. Izzy. Izzy seemed to have been the hot boy of the pods. Like, 3 girls were interested in him: Lydia, Stacy, and Johnny. You could see that in the first trailer, it was really just Johnny and Izzy, and from the very first trailer, I already knew that I wasn't going to like Izzy, and neither Johnny or their connection. So it was already a no-go for me, but I still wanted to watch to see how their relationship would develop. And in the pods, I did not like them either. I didn't see anything that was making me inclined to root for them. So, truth be told, I kind of wasn't even really paying attention to their scenes like that. But Johnny was a walking red flag from the beginning. She introduced herself. She was married before. She kept talking about how she was a walking red flag. Like, if somebody's telling you who they are, believe them. So I was like, Johnny, you know yourself better than I do, girl. I believe you. You are a walking red flag. So Like, you're not gonna get me to doubt you on that one at all, okay? And then she said her mom told her maybe she wasn't meant to be in a relationship or whatever. And I was like, girl, if that came from your mother who birthed you, I don't know. It's given, probably there's some truth to it, you know? And then you hear through her story that she was with her first boyfriend. She was with a boyfriend who was an addict, and she stayed with him for a while. And she was in love with him, but she left that situation and ended up moving on and marrying her husband. And then her first boyfriend that she was in love with had passed away, and that devastated her to the point where it caused her relationship with her husband that she was never truly in love with to go down the drain. So I was like, what in the, as the world turns, mess is going on? Because I was like, I just don't, how are you married but you're not in love with your husband, but you're in love with your ex-druggie, but then, I don't know. You in love with your ex who is a drug addict. He passes away, and then you realize, when did you realize you never loved your husband? So that was a major red flag for Izzy. And then she was kind of like wanting, she was just trauma dumping on Izzy, and I don't know what she thought would have happened as a result. Like, what man is going to hear that and just be falling in love even deeper with you? No man that I know. Like, it was giving weird. And then at the end of the 4 episodes, when Stacy got engaged and she was over there, you know, bad mouthing Stacy, like, oh, they're not gonna last long, he's not gonna stay with her long. And I was like, girl, if you start going your room and cry, like, why you have to be out here wishing bad on people's relationship, like praying for their downfall? Because if that was you, you wouldn't want her to do that, and you probably would have confronted her if she did that or something like that. But then she started talking about how Izzy had a bad credit score, and I was like, my girl, you was just in love with the bad credit score man. You wanted the bad credit score man to ask you to be his wife and spend the rest of his life with you. So the bad credit score, good for the goose but not good for the gander, it didn't make sense to me. Like, no. The same way you could tolerate his bad credit score, probably she can too. Or maybe she can help him build it up. I don't understand. Like, it was, again, just weird. Izzy, just something about him. I was like, he's a good looking guy. He probably gonna be the F-boy, but it wasn't just about him being the F-boy. He just gave me bad vibes. I couldn't explain it, like, at all. And at one point I was like, is this even warranted, how I was feeling towards him? But as the episodes go by, as we will discuss, it is definitely warranted. He definitely gives me, like, I'm not an Izzy fan, like, at all. Like, and he quickly lost me as a fan. I really didn't see anything about him so appealing, like, besides his look. Like, I don't know what he was telling them in the pods like that. He probably was talking about sexual stuff, why all the girls were interested in him, because I don't see what conversations he was having that was so appealing about him to make you want to, like, risk it all for Izzy. Like, so I really don't have much to say about my initial thoughts about Izzy. I just was never a fan of his. Stacy, I didn't like in the beginning, but I felt like she grew on me in the first 4 episodes, especially when she had that conversation with, was it Lydia, I believe? Yeah, when she was consoling Lydia, I thought she was saying all the right things. She was like, you just told him a lot of information, give him time to process. Like, you couldn't expect him to just bounce right back after that. And I thought that was really good advice. And I was like, where's AALIYAH? Why isn't AALIYAH consoling her best friend? Why is it Stacy? You know, so at that point I should have noticed that AALIYAH had already left, which is what we saw at the end of season 4, and that was the cliffhanger that it ended the episode on. Like, they didn't really show too much about Stacy. All you know that she was fun, and she didn't really want to talk about like stuff that was too serious, which I thought was weird, because I was like, I mean, why are you on the show to try and find a husband so quickly, but then you don't want to talk about the things that you would need to talk about as, you know, somebody that is going to be that person's potential spouse? Like, now is the time. That is what y'all should be discussing. So anyway, you see, yeah, she was also very emotionally unavailable to me. Like, she was telling Izzy that she was having trouble saying the L word, but still he goes ahead and proposed. And I'm like, did we miss something? Because it doesn't make sense. How a woman cannot even tell you she loves you, but then you on one knee the next day asking her to marry you. Like, make it make sense to me, because it just didn't. So at that point, probably he was running out of options, because he already gave up on Johnny. Then we move on to JP and Taylor. I didn't have no thoughts about those two. I honestly forget them all the time. Like, I just feel they were blah to me. Captain America was very weird. I didn't see what she was so into. They were the first couple to get engaged. And I was like, oh, they're trying to make them the Lauren and Cameron? Because, you know, every season they're trying to recreate that couple. So I was like, nah, it's not giving Lauren, and it's definitely not giving Cameron. So I don't know what is going on in that situation. I put the finishing touches on my eyes, and yes, so let's get a little bit into my first impressions of JP. I was like, who is so in love with the USA flag? I was like, it's getting weird. Okay, I'll let that... Now I can't let that slide. It was giving weird. And then he talked about his sisters and how the mother was abusive, but not abusive to him. So I was like, she just skip over you? I don't know. So it was kind of giving undertones of mommy issues, but he didn't want to delve deep in that. So he kind of just talked about his sisters and him having to kind of be there for them. But I was like, mommy issues is just as bad as daddy issues, and we shall see about him later. Even when he asked Taylor to marry him, I was like, Taylor, don't do it, don't do it. You don't know what you're signing up. You don't know. It wasn't giving me, oh, JP and Taylor just the perfect match, and they should go ahead and be the first engaged couple. Like, I wasn't getting that at all. So I feel like Netflix probably cut out a lot of their story, because it was probably boring and there's a lot more drama going on around. But I was like, let's bet you're gonna hear about them later on, because JP too weird. Like, and then when Taylor see JP, I think she's not going to like him. And lo and behold, I was right, because as soon as those doors opened and she saw him and the reveal, she was like, in the real world, Space Thief is a no for me. No Space Thief, I can't do it. But yes, we'll talk more about them and each couple later on. I have my handy dandy notebook, and we are definitely going to get into these new episodes. So if you ever see me looking down, I'm just referencing my notes. So episode 5 starts off with a conversation between UCHE and AALIYAH. Now, in my opinion, I can understand why UCHE wants to know, like, what happened after you reassured me that I have you, I have your back, like, it's you, the future is you, I'm living here with you. And then all of a sudden, when I come to propose to you, the notebook I gave you is in my pod and you're gone. Like, what's up with that? So I can see him wanting answers, but you're like, first of all, I never thought production is so messy this season. I never thought production would give her a call and make us hear the entire call, or whatever they think we should hear from the call. I was like, Netflix? What? Okay, well, anyway, as soon as UCHE started to talk, I was like, UCHE, wrong question. UCHE, you're saying the wrong things. UCHE, your tone. UCHE, you're losing me. You're losing me. You're losing her. You're losing her. UCHE, stop. Because I was like, yo, you grilling this girl. why aren't you here? Well, why aren't you here? Well, nigga, did you forget why did she not there? You know damn well why she not there. This girl is telling you that she is in a jail cell basically, like with your ex. And it's not just with your ex, it's somebody that she considered a friend that was so close. I feel like she never really said how close she was to Lydia, but UCHE was speaking so, you know, even after he told Aaliyah that he has a past with Lydia, he was speaking about Lydia in a good light. Even to the point where I was like, is this man still in love with Lydia? Because he was saying things like, you know, Milton shouldn't rush and get married to her and all that stuff. So I was really wondering, and just the way, but I know already with Netflix and the editing, they'll try to make you think one thing and it's completely something else. But when he was doing things like, you know, he rubbing his face when Aaliyah was talking about Milton and Lydia to him and whatever else, he was kind of like taking it hard, in my opinion. Like he was kind of emotional about it, and I was confused. Was he crying? I don't know what he was doing. So I was like, do you still care about her? I thought she was just some girl that you were dating, that it wasn't that serious, you know? Because it was definitely giving Lydia is a stalker and she followed you on the show for stalker vibes, which you kind of still believe, but I think that concept is, that mindset is changing for me. I think that opinion is changing for me, because I'll explain later like why I'm starting to think otherwise. Like I do think she came on the show because of UCHE, but yeah, let's just talk about it. I wrote down he's being a, I'm sorry, but he definitely is giving bitchy. Like I really don't know. I'm like, you created this situation, how you expect people to react? But then I do think Aaliyah as an adult should have just said no to him. And this is how I knew that Aaliyah was gonna backpedal, because I was like, if you want to hurt the man, the what worse thing can you do a man than reject his proposal while he down on one knee, being like being as vulnerable as he can get with you? Like, what if you really want to hurt him? If you really want to hurt him, you would say no to his proposal instead of leaving. So I was like, this is not about UCHE. This is about Lydia. She left because of Lydia, and her friendship with Lydia was broken, so she could no longer stay in the house. I feel like that is exactly what happened. It really didn't have anything to do with UCHE. It was her love for Lydia. So she and Lydia had a breakup and she couldn't stand it, so she went home. And I don't know why nobody else is mentioning that. It had nothing to do with UCHE. And that's why, like, I mean, obviously they got into an argument because of UCHE. But what hurt her the most is that, like she said on that phone call, there was an exchange of words between she and Lydia. And basically, she told Lydia, if UCHE doesn't ask me to be his wife, then you can go ahead and have him. Which I can see the shade, like I can see why, because I mean, if you're having an argument, that's probably something you would see. So I could see why she said that to Lydia. But when Lydia was like, F you, I don't need him, she was like, oh, F me? F me? Okay, boom, then forget this friendship. And then left. I think her feelings were so hurt about Lydia, because she probably was still viewing this girl as a friend, you know, which didn't make any sense to me. But I really think that's what she was doing. I might not talk about this like scene by scene, but I will talk about like the things that I feel like is, you know, worth mentioning from each episode. So then you see Milton and Lydia meeting each other. They were both very nervous. The doors open, and yo, am I wrong? I really enjoyed that. That was the best reveal that I saw between all the couples. Like, in my opinion, I don't know if they were just kissing to fill in like the awkwardness or what. I know Lydia was like, oh my god, he is a giant. But the kissing was they was really getting in it. Like they were really kissing. Like there wasn't no JP and Taylor kissing. No, they were kissing. Like they were definitely, I think there was tongue and everything. I was like, okay, Milton. I said, Milton who? Milton rocks, Milton who had a rock before he could find his ring, Milton. Oh my god. I was like, I could not believe Milton know how to put the tongue down. I said, okay. Oh my god. No, that was so funny. But I did find their little interaction cute. I actually said that, okay, I could probably see these two, you know, going past the whole age problem, probably making a genuine connection. So, but I say, you never know with this Love is Blind show, so let's watch and see. But I put he gave her a tiny ass ring. I was like, isn't he an engineer? Couldn't he afford a little bigger rock? And you so in love with rocks, her rock should be rocking. Like I don't know, maybe I need to go back and watch to see if it was really, if her ring, her diamond was really small or what. Because I was like, I thought I saw a small ring, but maybe she just like dainty jewelry. I don't know. So anyway, I was like, it's two crazy people. Both of them mad. Both of them crazy. So I was like, let's just see how this is going to go. You could see Milton is like, let's just do anything. He is like YOLO. That's the vibe he gives me. Like, YOLO, you only live once. Let's just do the thing, okay? But she seemed happy, and so did he. He seemed very pleasantly surprised with her looks and stuff like that. So, I really did like their reveal. I think he did mention that he got a border too, which I was like, because he was like, he cannot stand up now or some nonsense. I was like, trust the 24-year-old. Getting too excited. But yeah, I thought their interaction was cute. So we get to Cancun, Mexico, and JP is still acting weird, okay? And Taylor keeps mentioning how awkward it was. So at one point I was like, oh my god, Taylor, give the man a second to breathe. Like, y'all just got there. Like, give him some time to adjust, because you never know. Like, sometimes it's too overwhelming for people, and he already done tell you that he is the awkward type. So I mean, give it a chance. Girl, can you believe in talking to him about their awkwardness, and like she gives him a kiss and she's like, ooh, you have stinky breath. And I was like, did she say that to her future husband on TV? He will never forgive you. I was like, my god, what is going on? But later we find out she'd have to worry about him forgiving her, because what he did is unforgivable on TV. Yeah, it definitely was unforgivable. But we'll get there. Then we see Izzy and Stacy, and I said that they are better than the last time I saw them. You can see since Stacy got engaged to Izzy, she kind of just really was all in from then. You know, you can see her being more like she has butterflies type of thing, you know, like she was giving I'm in love now type vibes. And then later on you do hear her tell him that she loves him and stuff. So I was like, oh okay, well she probably just wanted somebody to take a risk on her so that she can like express herself, because she did say that it was hard for her to see the L word. You can see them always kissing and more comfortable and stuff like that. Then Milton, you get to Milton and what's her name, Lydia, and they making jokes about each other's looks. Well, Lydia is saying that Milton has a big nose and a big mouth, and he's a black man. Like, you expect his features to be like a wider nose, bigger lips type thing, so why mention it? Like, I don't understand. But anyways, she didn't really like his beard, talked about his small ears, but they kind of doing it jokingly, quote unquote. But I think she really does mean these things, like, but let's not forget, love is blind, so let's not talk too much about his Izzy on Milton Lydia. And then I think he keeps making jokes about her being old. But I'm like, you already know she was old, so why you want to come and make jokes right now, okay? Y'all already done past that stage. Now let's move on to seeing if y'all really have a good connection. Worth getting married and saying I do for. So we move back to Taylor, and I put, it seems that she is having regrets or second thoughts, and they are very awkward together, and JP doesn't talk much, but Taylor is also an overthinker, which she admits. So I was like, maybe she just needs to give it time. It is only like the first day, and she probably is just putting too much thought into it. Then you see Izzy and Stacy again, and so Izzy and Stacy got into, I think, the tub together or something, and then you can see that Milton and Lydia got into the shower together. So everybody gets in hot and heavy except for the first couple to get engaged. So I was like, I'm giving it a side eye, and I don't know what is going on with JP, but if it was me, the first night I got to go. Yeah, because you're not gonna be there we're not just gonna be looking at the wall. We're not just gonna be there in awkward silence. Because what you think this is, you just asked me to be your wife. Like, what? And I always felt like JP gave me like somebody who I would see on like Unsolved Mysteries. That was the vibe. I was always getting the vibe that JP is giving me Unsolved Mysteries. Like, he would be one of the people they make a story about. Like, one of the people that committed the crime. I don't know. He was just giving me, cannot be trusted. There's more to him than we know. And I just couldn't put my finger on it. So back to Milton and Lydia. He made a joke with Lydia saying that, no, I thought it would be very easy to sleep with you. No, I don't know why he said that. I don't know if it was because she's Latina or what, but I don't know. She thought it was funny, so if you like it, I love it. Then we hear Stacy admitting to clogging up the toilet. I was like, girl, some things you just need to keep off of the internet. I mean, she lets the whole world know that she clogged up the toilet in Mexico. Stacy seems so much more fun now, so much more laid back. I didn't really get the fun vibes from her. I know that Izzy said she was a fun girl in the pods, but I wasn't really getting so much fun vibes from her. But I guess now in Mexico I'm really seeing that. So JP, again, JP is wearing the American pants, and I was like, what is this about? Like, and then tell me why Taylor have to ask you if you're gonna take a shower this morning. So first it was your stinky breath. Now it's the shower. That tells me, Mr. Captain America, you don't have good hygiene. So like, what is up with that? Like, nobody gonna talk about that, because it was just, you're a grown man. Why she have to ask you to brush your teeth? Well, no, tell you your breath stink, meaning that you didn't brush your teeth, and then ask you to take a shower. Do you know that there's cameras around? Like, at least, oh my god. And I just put like, he is weird and he doesn't talk. And then Taylor is crying again because she keep crying about this man just basically ignoring her. Like, why would you ask me to be your wife just so you could ignore me? So anyway, moving on to Izzy and Lydia. So all the couples meet up. You can see that the two other couples are all over each other, but JP and Taylor, you can feel the tension between them. You can cut it with a knife. It was so uncomfortable. But the funny thing is, I feel like JP was so friendly with the other women. He was so comfortable. So I was like, JP, wait. Oh, you just don't want to talk to Taylor. You're not awkward. You're just doing a wickedness. You making her feel like that. You're making her cry on purpose. You want her to pay for something she didn't even know she did. I don't know what it was, but I was like, he holding on to something, and I know his type, you know. Sometimes you don't even know what you do them, but they have it holding over your head and making you feel all types of ways before they can come out and say it. So I think it was Stacy who came to Taylor and was like, your man is, I can't remember what she said about him, but I thought it was referencing him being fun, but maybe I did misinterpret that, so don't quote me. Then she kind of spoke to Taylor, and Taylor told her, well, you know, we haven't been talking, our connection isn't like how it was in the past and stuff. And then again, Stacy gives really good advice, and she was just like, if you want it to work, then step up. Basically, like, just do something about it. So I could say that Stacy does give good advice. You can tell that she is level-headed. And something else I realized about Stacy, I realized she's not into the, oh, giving the details, what's the tea. She doesn't give me that vibes. Now, I could be wrong, and maybe later we might see her being like that, but she is not, she don't like caca. That's how we refer to it in the Caribbean. Like, she don't want to know the sips or the secrets. She don't want to be all in your business. She will give you good advice and move on. Unlike her man Izzy, who we're about to get into right now. So Izzy pulls Lydia to the side to basically be like, oh, let me explain why I didn't choose you. Izzy, who asked you? I thought that was just, he had an ego trip. Like, he wanted her to be like, oh, this is me, I'm sexy. I'm pretty sure that's somebody that you would want in the real world. Like, he wanted his moment, and he wanted to catch her saying some nonsense like, oh yeah, I was so heartbroken and seeing you right now, and I just, you know, wish that. No. She was like, I'm in love with Milton, keep it pushing. I felt so embarrassed for him. I was like, my God, you what? I said, as a man, who does that? And that's why that's one of the main reasons I don't like Izzy. And as time goes on, you can tell that he really catty. Like, he acts like a girl to me. Like, I don't know. Like, he will always want to be in the middle of some mess. I remember in the pods when he went to Chris and he was like, no, if this is what Johnny tells you, this is what Johnny tells me. Basically, like, let's compare notes kind of thing. And I didn't really, it's supposed to be looking at for Chris, but it wasn't giving that to me. It was really giving that he was just being messy because he was upset. Yeah, and so, yeah, I don't understand why he pulled. If it was production and asked him to do that, he should have saved himself the embarrassment, because it was uncalled for. And Lydia shut that down so quick. So kudos to Lydia for doing that, because she was like, nah, my eyes are on Milton, nobody not focus on you. So I really like that. We're just going to skip right to the point where Captain America tells one of the prettiest girls on this show. Now, all the women are beautiful, don't get me wrong, like, but she is a very beautiful woman. Taylor is a very beautiful woman. And he goes on to tell Taylor that if I had seen you on reveal day the way you look now, then basically he would have liked her better. Basically, he wouldn't be so awkward. He wants a natural woman. And I just wrote, he's lying. There must be something else. Like, he has to be lying. Like, I know there's men that will talk about the fact that they don't like makeup, but they're not gonna skip a chance on making love to you because they don't like you wearing makeup. They're still gonna hit that. They're still going to, especially if it's their fiance. They're not holding that on for 4 days and not getting none. For no reason. No. So I'm like, is this man gay? What's really going on? Like, is he undercover? And honestly, I'm not going to show y'all any pictures, but I did go on his Instagram page, and there was one picture that was giving sus to me so bad. I said, let me comment on this page. I can't do it. I cannot do it at all. Okay. So all of a sudden, JP is running his mouth. Like, he just talking. I was like, oh, Oh, so you can talk then. So you can talk and it's a bad mind you were playing for real. You too bad mind, JP, and you need to stop it. Because I said, no, you have a lot of words. So Taylor decided to leave the room, and I'm just going to skip to the next day. I think I don't remember him cursing her, but he probably lost me at that point when she said she was going. I think they said that he said, so effing leave. Probably I tuned him out at that point and I didn't even pay attention because I really don't recall that part, but he is just so bold, like, to even mention her makeup like that. You know what? If Taylor had came out on reveal day with all the same makeup that she was wearing, that he said that it was too much, but she was wearing red, blue, and white, he wouldn't have no problem with it. If she was dressed in the USA flag colors, he would be more than happy. He would never even notice that she had makeup on. He probably was just disappointed that she didn't come out in dressed like Miss America, you know. But she did come out looking like a beauty queen, so for me a win is a win. So I don't know what he was mad about. He definitely was in his feelings for real, and he was big tripping, and it was really messed up because I don't want to be the one to talk about his face, but sir, you're not the one to talk. Trust me. Like, let's just keep it pushing. So the next day, Taylor comes and she doesn't have any makeup on. That's the only time I see JP without his American colors. He comes in a yellow shirt. So I was like, oh, so you have other clothes then? At this point, I just wondering if you're just bad mind all around. Because you're just torturing people. Torturing the viewers and the people that have to constantly be seeing you in the US flag colors. Like, what? Now you have other clothes. Oh, okay. Now, I know I look a little bit crazy. I'm talking about JP telling that girl that she wearing too much makeup and I'm just going ham. But it will all come together later on. But JP can miss me with that BS. Like, nobody not asking him why he's so obsessed with the US flag though. That's beyond patriotic at this point. So thank God Taylor doesn't put up with this shit and just stay for the sake of the show. And she didn't wait too long. She just broke up with him the next day. And I was like, that, I just love to see it. Like, that was all that needed to be done, honestly. Like, because she was really giving him a chance, even if she didn't like his face, Steve. But he was ready to, like, get rid of her the moment he saw her. Like, he wasn't even planning on giving it a chance the whole time in Mexico. Like, no. It was only when she was ready to leave, he was, like, trying to put his best foot forward. And no, sir. No, ma'am, no ham, and no turkey. Let's wrap this shit up. So now we're down to 3 couples, and I'm like, the ghetto, okay? What is up with, what is going on, Netflix? Like, first y'all messed up with the reunion last season. Now we barely getting couples. Like, everybody breaking up left and right. Like, since when they just leave the show like that? I thought that was against contract. But then again, you can't really hold people against their will. But I was just like, only 2 couples, and not even 2 really interesting couples anyway. So we see the couples go back home and they get to see each other's place, and you see Milton has a roommate and Lydia gets to meet the roommate. The roommate is so, like, quirky in my opinion. But he really has Milton's back, and I really like that a lot. And he just gave, like, good positive vibes and energy, so I thought that was cute. Then we see Stacy and Izzy a little bit too happy to be wanting to live in this girl house that she working hard on for however long now, in her 3-story house, pulling up in her Mercedes while she has another Mercedes packed in the garage. I just feel like he was a little bit too excited. Like, you can see this lady working hard to build her little empire, and you're saying, I cannot wait to move in, I cannot wait. Be cannot wait to pay something. Tell me you cannot wait to help me finish build it. How about that? How about you say, I cannot wait to make this place our place. I cannot wait to help her finish build it, or whatever the case, she's going to be my wife. All you keep on talking about is how you can't wait to move in, and then you lighten up like a Christmas tree. That was very irritating to me. Like, Izzy is giving so much feminine vibes to me. Like, it was giving gold digger in that moment. I couldn't do it. Then you see them bring Stacy to Izzy's place, and wait, I think at Stacy's place she was asking, well, you know, if something happens, would you help pay it? And he was like, well, even if it's your house, no, if you live in there, it becomes our house, so all payment that I have to make is our house. So she was like, oh, we would do 50-50. So she said, when it comes to dinner, what would you do? He was like 50-50. And everybody marriage different. Probably my marriage different from most people's marriage. But if I'm taking my husband out, I'm paying. But if he taking me out, which is majority of the time, because women like to go out to eat more than men, you ask me out, you're paying. And if I know it's something that we're going through together as a couple, and we probably need to pay, we probably need to go half and half. If anything, we'll just decide to go to a spot that's more affordable. Men are providers. Providers provide. Like, it's just that easy to me. I don't know. In my opinion, I was like, Izzy and Stacy all the time he was lollygagging and forming a fool in the pods. These are the questions you needed to be asking. Don't wait until that man get down on one knee and you outside there asking him all of these questions. You needed to know if he was going to pay for your meals before that. He needed to know if you like 5-star restaurants before that. You needed to know if he can even be able to afford it. Do you know about his credit score? I mean, if Johnny was running him off about it, did you know? Did you ask questions? Now is not the time. Now is not the time. Before all of these proposals, you should have asked the questions that needed to be asked. So I was very irritated about that. So you can see when Izzy brings Stacy to his place. I'm wondering, is this really a place, Izzy? Because it doesn't give that you can afford this. Honestly, I really was asking if that was an Airbnb or if that was really his spot, or if he's using somebody else's place for the show purposes, maybe like a friend or a family, because the way it sounds to me, Izzy doesn't really have that much money. Stacy finds out that he has paper plates in his cupboard, and honestly I wasn't even big tripping on the paper plates. I was like, maybe bachelor life, that's what they do, and then when they find a girlfriend, the girlfriend probably buys the plates and stuff, and then when they move up they take them with them, because I was like, he was engaged before, so probably the girl took all the plates and left. I don't know, but I feel like most people have plastic plates and cups, but they also have actual dishes and stuff, so he can do better than that. But trust me, I feel like he had way more red flags to focus on than some damn dishes that she could just go out and buy, or he could just go out and buy. And I feel like he did have them before, and the girl just took them when she left. I don't know, because I couldn't imagine having like, he had a fiance and he still didn't have any plates. But like I said, he's not giving man to me at all. Like, no. So you see them having their first fight about the paper plates and stuff, and then he tells he was talking, and then Stacy was going to say something, and then he was like, why you always trying to cut me off? And then she had her little temper tantrum and went outside, and then he went and held on to her. And yeah, that's kind of like how they resolved it. But Stacy has money. Like, you can tell she's wealthy by the car she drives, by the home that she's building. And she might not be a millionaire, but she's not struggling. He was trying to make it seem that like she was materialistic, and basically, you know, he was telling her, so if you met me and I cooked a really good meal for you and presented it to you in a paper plate, would you be upset or would you focus on that basically? And the answer is yes. Of course, yes. You're not gonna invite me to your house and give me paper plate. You're not having a party to say you have so many dishes to wash and you're trying to get rid of how many dishes you would have to wash. So then you feeding me on a paper plate. But that didn't surprise me at all about Izzy. It just really didn't surprise me. Like, so it wasn't a big surprise to me. So I wasn't as like moved by it like the rest of people online and stuff. Okay guys, so my battery died and I just had to give it a little charge so we could finish up this video. But yes, so I'm not sure where I left off at, but I almost forgot this pivotal part between Izzy and Stacy. Who's gonna talk about the trophies? Because why do you keep trophies around for the girls that you have smashed, Izzy? When they were in Mexico, Stacey kept talking about how he had a big D, a big D, a big D, and she wanted him to fling her in the ceiling and like she didn't really say that part, but she was like, "You too nice and easy with me. Rough me up, man. Like take me, pick me up, turn me upside down. Like give it to me." Like really good to me. Like you're just there playing shy. He was saying that he needs to be a little bit more rough with her in bed. I don't know what's kinky stuff Stacy into, but she was like, yeah, rough me up basically. But anyway, I think Izzy gets told that he has a big D or whatever, and girls like messing with him. Clearly he was the favorite in the pods, so he keeps those little trophies just to remind him that he still have it. I feel like that's really what is going on. Like it's really giving me weird vibes, and if you're engaged, you want your fiance to see that. To me, it's almost like showing your fiance your ex's nudes. Like, why do I need to know that? Like, talking about that's my past and wouldn't you like to see my past? No, I wouldn't like to see that, like, at all. Anyway, we almost done with the look. All we have to do is the lips and then spray so everything can melt nicely together. So, for the lips, I am just going to do a ColourPop lippy and then some lip gloss. But yeah, I just thought that was so cringy. And the fact that he didn't see a problem with it is a major red flag. I understand wanting to show your ex your past, but see that, show her a baby picture. Like show her your baby picture. That's what I'm talking about. You wanted to show her your past, so you keep some random girl stuff that you say. You don't even remember whose stuff it is. It's weird. Izzy is just so weird. Anyway, moving along. I want to talk about Milton meeting Lydia's mom and brother, and let me tell you, like, they are just so freaking cute. I just really I like Lydia's mom and her brother. Like, I don't know, from where I'm sitting right now, they are the only couple winning right now, okay? Like, Lydia is the only one winning right now. Okay, her man have a little bit of money. According to the roommate, he makes 6 figures, and he seems to be more mature than the other guys. Definitely more than JP and Izzy. So, and definitely more than UCHE, because UCHE tripping. But yeah, so the brother was being the translator. They basically welcomed Milton into the family. His age didn't come up as an issue. I don't know if that did come up and Netflix edited it out, but I really like that scene with their family. It was so cute to me. Now moving on to when we see Izzy meet Stacey's family. The mother-in-law was so annoying to me. I didn't really like her. Was it the mother-in-law or actual mother? Either way, I didn't really like her. The dad, I like him because he was like, hey, this is who my daughter is. If you kind of take care of her, just leave her alone, because you just bring her back, return to sender, just how you met her. Because if you kind of provide for her, then that slack falls on me and I would have to do it. And if you try to take my daughter's hand in marriage, that shouldn't be something I have to do. And I completely agree, and I really like the fact that the father did mention that his daughter is who she is. And I don't know if he got offended at that or not, and he shouldn't be, because it's the facts. And according to him, they're just trying to show each other who they are, right? So yeah, I just thought the father was being honest. But even by the dad's house, it doesn't appear that they have too much money. Like, their house didn't come like crazy expensive looking like the last season, I think it was, with Brennan and Alexa. But anyway, you can still tell that they have some money, or they do well for themselves. Let's talk about the little shindig when everybody, all the couples come together, and we see Chris and Johnny that nobody cares about. I don't know why Chris went back with Johnny. Johnny is a walking red flag. She is also a liar, and she is sketchy. I don't care what nobody says. She is definitely sketchy when she was out there talking about this boy's credit score and the fact that their relationship is not going to last. I thought that was so distasteful. Like, keep that stuff to yourself. Then she said that they explained how they met to meet something like BS, and then after she said that her mom told her that's the best guy she ever dated. Probably true, because Chris is a really nice guy, but what you gonna do? You're going to mess him up mentally with your toxicity, because that's who you are. So Iggy pulls Johnny aside again. I don't know who asked Iggy to do that stuff. Like, I really don't know. Just to embarrass himself again. Anyway, they were talking, and basically I think he was just upset that she was happy with Chris, but he was trying to tell her, you know, you were lying or whatever, you had 2 number ones. I think that's what hurt his ego. And she was like, no, I wasn't lying. You were my number 1 all along, but then I realized I was making a mistake and, you know, try to get back with Chris, whatever. Anyway, he was like, everybody in here thinks you're sketchy at AF. Like, to me, that's what it was giving. So sassy. Like, yo, are you a man? Like, what's really going on? Like, why are you always in the middle of some mess? Especially with females. It's just so cringy to me. And then you can see him so excited to go and tell his fiance that I was out there railing her. And then after that, you can see he was flustered. Like, he was upset. You could see he was upset after she rejected him, and like, basically he didn't expect the conversation to go the way that it did. And he went to boast about it with his fiance, and she not even in mess like that. She was just like, so what did she say? Oh, is that why you're upset? Did she say anything about me? And he was like, no. Like, he wasn't even defending her. And he is saying that the stuff he's hearing basically comes from Stacy's side. Like, basically what Stacy told him is things that I guess other girls in the pod told her that Johnny was saying about her. And I do agree, Johnny is sketch, but that wasn't his battle to fight. Like, if she said something about, let women handle it. Like, I feel like at that point, she didn't, if Stacy wasn't confronting her, why were you? You know what I mean? But anyways, I just thought that was very sassy and feminine. I did not like it. It was too much twaka, kaka. I don't. Then he proceeded to tell her how much he loved her. Don't come and tell me you love me, cause just because you think you were going to make a mistake if you had chose Johnny. So now you're happy you chose me because you saw that you wouldn't have liked Johnny physically, maybe, or whatever else. I don't know. It was just, Izzy, it's a big thumbs down. Just okay. So let's talk about UCHE and Lydia, because I don't know how much battery life I have left, and then I'll go ahead and spray this face. Oh, let me just do this. Let me just spray the face right now. Okay, so moving on to UCHE's ass. UCHE and AALIYAH. So AALIYAH basically came and asked, even if after UCHE said, I don't want to see this girl again, I don't want to talk to her again, he saw this girl again and he talked to her again. She asked to see him in person, so they ended up meeting, and at this point he was like, oh my god, you're beautiful, because according to him, in the same conversation, she followed him on Instagram, unfollowed him. So by that time, he already saw her profile, saw her pictures, knew what she was looking like. It wasn't a surprise to him. He was just ready to get down to the nitty and gritty. Okay, so first he was asking her like what happened, and she was saying that they got into an exchange of words, and she said that I basically said to Lydia, like, if you don't ask me to marry, then you can have him. And she said it was a joke, but girl, you were serious, and stand 10 toes on that. That's the problem I have, Aaliyah. She doesn't say anything with her chest. Like, say it with your chest and keep it pushing. Then he gives a story about their on and off again toxic relationship. So he talks about the details between he and Lydia's relationship and basically tries to pin her off as a stalker, which I'm not surprised, but you know why she's a stalker. You did certain things to cause her to go looking, and everybody has looked on an Instagram before. It's not that big of a deal. But how would girls on your Instagram that doesn't know Lydia be able to pinpoint her and come and ask you, UCHE, out of everybody else on their contact list, if you know that person? What I think happened was you were dealing with Lydia and you were messing with those girls or that girl at the same time as well, and the girls probably knew about Lydia and didn't care, but Lydia probably cared about them, so she was probably watching their stories, and then they probably confront him about it, like, why is your chick watching my stories? Like, I really think that's what happened, because the other story doesn't make sense. So he tried to make himself seem like a savior, talking about she needed me, so I was there for her, and then when she didn't need me again, I broke up with her. Like, what? No. AALIYAH asked, why were you so concerned about her and Milton? And that's a good question. Because the whole time she was good, and you were acting like you were ready to cry when you find out she was going to marry another man. So, I don't understand. Anyway, AALIYAH said that Lydia was telling other people that she had a feeling she'd run into somebody from her past. Lydia, you know why you said that? Because you was plotting on that man. As soon as you found out that he was going on the show, you were sneaking around at his home, probably saw the application and decided to apply to. I think that was her genuine initial reason for being on the show, but I really don't think she is on that anymore. I really think she's into Milton, as crazy as it is. She left her obsession with Milton and with UCHE, and now is obsessed with Milton. I feel like she just transferred the crazy, and I really don't think she on that type of time with UCHE anymore. And we'll see about that, but I do think she and Milton will get married, honestly. Like, I that's my prediction. I could be completely wrong. Then when AALIYAH was like, oh, I don't know that you're on plot to come on here together, he was like, so what am I going to do? Come with my ex-girlfriend, get her to come on the show, date her in the past, then bring her around all friends that they all have already met and act like they didn't already meet. So I was like, oh, so you wasn't just dating her, she was your girlfriend, because like, how y'all friends know each other? Like, if it's not that deep, then your friends shouldn't know my friends and my friends shouldn't know your friends, and I also shouldn't know your dog, your where you live, like every single little detail about you, your fool. Well, yeah, you should know a man's full name if you're sleeping with him. But, like, all the other extra details, I just feel like she shouldn't know all of that stuff if she's just somebody messing with. Then he kind of tells AALIYAH, like, why you didn't talk to me? Like, why you just leave without saying anything? And then he said, then I had to, like, go 48 hours without hearing from you. You blocked and unblocked me. You send messages to me, then unsent them. You sent voice messages and then unsent them. You you added me on Instagram, then you blocked me, and it was too much. Like, AALIYAH, like, I don't know, she needs to stand on the things that she does. If you decide to leave the engagement, then leave it. Don't come back and ask for him. Don't come back and say how much you love him. Don't come back and say you didn't think of a relationship with anyone. You basically denied his proposal. If you deny a man's proposal, 9 times out of 10 he moving on. Like, he not gonna ask you again. So I didn't get that. But anyways, she needs to make a decision and stick to it. All of that blocking and unblocking and following, like, how old are we? I didn't like that at all. They both say they still love each other. They both say they can see themselves being married to each other. But then he ended up telling her that it was over, and I thought that was so sketchy. I was like, no, that's not how the story goes, because in the preview we saw two black hands holding on the table, and there's only one black couple, so it has to be them. So Netflix, what you're really trying, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about that soon. But my biggest thing with UCHE is the fact that he didn't say that he had sex with this girl 3 months ago. Okay, that is where the problem lies. Not just the fact that you have an ex in the pods that I'm close to. You was known your ex, like, you was all up in there. Yeah, all y'all was this close. Like, it wasn't just you have an ex, like as if it was umpteen years ago, and she shouldn't be tripping about it. Like, I just thought it was so unrealistic the way that he wanted her to get over it so quickly, because you were recently in. What's wrong with you? like say what it is. And if she didn't tell me, were you going to tell me? Because I don't think so. And he always in lawyer defensive mode. Like, I cannot deal with that. He keeps talking down to her. I hate his tone. Like, somebody really needs to put UCHE in his place and learn how to talk to women, because it's giving bad taste. Red flags. I do not like it. Come to find out, he was spilling stuff on his Instagram stories, and he said that he didn't tell AALIYAH it was over. Actually, they held hands and they kissed and continued to date off the show. So he said that Netflix in editing put a little sound bite, I think that's what he referred to it as, over, you know, the footage to make it seem like he said that in that moment, when he did not. I think he probably made that statement when he was on the phone with her, and they used that audio and inserted it on that part of the film, because they broke these people up when in actuality they were not broken up. I thought Netflix said that they don't get involved in, like, the outcome of, like, the relationships and stuff, but you breaking them up when they're still together, isn't that involving yourself in the outcome? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So we are now down to 2 couples only. Like, they're gonna be trying to stretch the little footage they have, because all you'll have is 2 couples. Like, okay, anyways, let me predict to you what's going to happen. I think Izzy is going to say no at the altar, and let me know what you guys think down below. I think he's truly not about that marriage life yet. He needs to get some stuff together, and I feel like he feels like the girl is too high maintenance and he cannot, like, keep up with her lifestyle. And then I really think that the only person going to get married is Lydia, and wouldn't that be some shit? Like, after being the messiest person on the show, like, after all the drama, she would be the one that gets her happily ever after. I don't know, but we will see. I enjoyed making this video for you guys. If you liked it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and leave a comment down below letting me know what your predictions are, what you think about all of the castmates, especially UCHE, AALIYAH, and Lydia, because they are the most talked about bunch so far. And let me know right now, who do you prefer, Izzy and Stacy, or Milton and Lydia? So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.